always test different kind of links and calls to action. Some calls to action will not work, and some calls to actions will not work for you. Right. And what I will tell you is that you are always going to be uncomfortable with a more forward call to action. If you tell people, hey, go here, that's going to make you uncomfortable. More than likely, whatever you're a little uncomfortable doing, you need to do. If you're comfortable with it, it's probably not strong enough call to action. Right. There is a difference between saying something like, you can get this here, than go here to get this. There's a huge difference. And so you're probably more, how many of you would be more comfortable saying, hey, you can get this here if you need it, rather than go here to get this, right? So if I were to ask you, which one are you more comfortable with? Number one, I'm more comfortable saying, go here to get this, or number two, you can get this here. Which are you more comfortable with, one or two, right? Be honest, I'm the only one who can see your answers, right? Most of us are comfortable with two. Right. And more than likely, that means then that our calls to action are probably not going to be strong enough, because we're sort of writing sort of where we're comfortable. So again, the only place where I would tell you where you probably don't necessarily want to be fully yourself is the call to action. Right. That's where the rules about direct response, copywriting take over. If you haven't done any reading about direct response, I'd say you pick up anything by Dan Kennedy, right? He's got a book called The Ultimate Sales Letter. I highly suggest you read that. Dan Kennedy in that book is really talking about call to action. Right. And so that call to action is probably going to be something you're slightly uncomfortable with. But again, this is probably going to be the one area where you want to come outside of yourself a little bit. Now, this is just as an aside, the email. There's some evidence about this. And if you look like a marketer, like an internet marketer to Gmail, they might put you in promotions. Now, again, I don't know this. You're going to have to test this. So how many of you all are very familiar with the emails that have, that say something like, they have a little content, then they have the link, right? Then some more content, then the same link. Then a little more content, then the same link. There is evidence, again, that if you're going to use that same link in all three places, even if it's a redirect, right? That's going to be viewed as promotional. I mean, we know it's promotional. You and I know it's promotional, but don't think that the machine doesn't know that anymore. Is what I'm trying to tell you, right? So if you're finding that, hey, I'm just doing what marketers have always done. I'm doing what I've always done. I put the link at the top. I put the link in the middle. I put the same link at the end. It probably looks very, very promotionally to a machine, right? To Gmail, to Yahoo inbox, to AOL inbox. Let's talk about structure and strategy. I mean, we talked about this. You need to be always in communication mode, asking questions, writing every day, and providing value every day. How do you provide value? I'm going to recommend another book to you. I think I recommended this to you last week. Very powerful, called Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller. How many of you has anybody read that book? Right, if you've read Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller, put the number 6 in the question box. If you haven't read that book, please put that on your list of books to read. Because what you and I have to do, right, is kind of shift our mindset, right? And we need to shift our mindset from us to them, right? We shift our mindset from us to them. What do we mean by that? Well, to be an authority, we've got to kind of create a narrative. But the key to the narrative is going to be that the customer is the hero, not us, right? That's a shift. What we've got to do is we've got to shift from us being the hero of our story every day, right, to the customer being the hero. If you just think about that, that'll kind of change the way you write. That'll change the way you communicate. That'll change what you promote. Make sure that there is a story and that the customer is the hero of the story. Be willing to test your assumptions every day, and then make sure you're using an autoresponder that tracks your open rate and clicks. So what are we talking about in terms of being an authority? And I do want to say that this is the hard part of what I want to talk about tonight. This is the hardest part. The easiest thing to write about on a daily basis is what you know well, right? And what we know well really involves what we're doing and experiencing, what we're learning, what we're testing, what we succeeded in, what we failed in. That's not new, right? So you know that already. That basically what you're involved in every day is pretty much what it's going to be easy to write about. Now, what we've got to try to do with our subscriber on a minimum, right? At the minimum, you should always be one grade ahead of your subscriber list, right? So at minimum, you don't have to be like the end all be all in terms of knowledge. You do have to be in third grade if your subscribers are in first grade, right? Whatever you're doing, right? You've got to be that much of an authority. You can do that very easily. Well, I wouldn't say very easily. You can do that. If you can't be an authority, if you have read .com secrets, you can be what's called an explorer. So in other words, you're basically taking people on a journey with you. They're going to learn with you. They're going to discover what you discovered. You're going to show them what you learned as you learn it. So, I mean, you do have to be doing something, right? That kind of goes without saying. And I'm going to assume, right, when I say this, that you are involved in some activity that with your subscriber list that you can tell them about it every day. So I'm going to assume that. So you're doing something that you can teach every day. So, but what I want to help you to do is to build on that. So build on what you're already doing, what you could already be teaching people, or even what you've already done. Right? So if you have some kind of certification, you have some kind of degree, you have some kind of expertise, you have something that you have done in a career, you already have something that you can build on. Right? Now the question is going to be, how do we bring that to the marketplace? How do we bring that into our emails? And we're going to have to get immersed in the subject. Right? This basically means a steady diet. Right? A steady diet, podcasts, physical books. What I suggest, teachers, newspapers, webinars, seminars, live events, meetups, and all the other stuff, right? Basically, getting immersed in the subject matter and being intentional, right? Being intentional in putting on our schedule, being intentional in putting that knowledge on our calendar and taking the kind of notes, right, that we can actually categorize and put into Evernote or some kind of system, right? And then, that categorization process is really going to help you to be able to immerse in it. I mean, so that you can teach it on a daily basis. But if you're looking for a way to be teaching on a daily basis, this kind of immersion really does have to be, number one, it's got to be on your schedule. Number two, it's got to be on your calendar. I promise you won't do it if you don't put it on your schedule and on your calendar. When I say put it on your calendar, that might mean that you might need to attend some stuff, right? You're going to have to take off from your business in order to attend some things. It doesn't have to be the Warrior Conference. It doesn't have to be, an internet marketing conference. It can be, though, something where the experts where you're trying to become meet, right? So it's, again, unless you're selling to internet marketers, you don't have to go to the internet marketing conferences, right? But you do need to be at a conference where the other experts, where you can grow in what you are the authority in. Right. And I know that you know this, and I don't, I'm not making light of this, but it's more important for you to have the authority than to post about it. Right. So believe me, don't feel like you've got to say, hey, here's me and I'm at the conference and I'm learning a lot. I mean, that's wonderful. I think that's cool. I mean, maybe it's branding, but it's really, if you get this kind of knowledge and you start to build up your email marketing list, I don't really think that what you're posting on social media is going to matter as much as you providing value in that email every day. So if you got to prioritize between taking an image and posting it on social, and again, I mean, you could do both, right? You can walk and chew gum at the same time. I'm not saying don't do it. I am saying that, though, that focus on having it rather than posting about it.